Hey guys, it's me, Bubblegum, and I'm back today with another video. Today is going to be Big Chungus in this one. And yeah, alright, let's do it. Big Chungus!
Jungle, the Chungus sleeps tonight. Big Chungus is a meme on Reddit.
Second, I'm freaking it out. Cause I'm watching trying to touch the old people it out. They turn around and was trying to put my dick in the mouth. I let her.
Only exist in the dark of my room. I can't ignore you. Do anything for you, lady. I do adore you.
Just a reminder, you could be fat and hot at the same time.
The conversation right now on whether it's fat phobic to not want to be fat, to me just really feels like an attempt to deflect people from having to really unpack their internalized fat phobia, and that can be from both fat people and non-fat people. So I'm not going to answer that question, but I am going to recommend some readings because I think it's really important that people understand the deeper systemic issues connected to fat phobia. First one is Burying the Black Body. It talks about the racist and colonialist roots of fat phobia. Then I would recommend The Body is Not an Apology. It talks about body image and radical self-acceptance. Then I would recommend Sarah Simon's Fat Liberation Resources. It has a bunch of different articles talking about the history of fat liberation and fat phobia as a feminist issue. And last would be Anything on Obesity Time Bomb. It's by Dr. Charlotte Cooper, who talks about leftist politics, class, and fat phobia.
It's time for another installment of things that are acceptable for thins to do, but not fat people. These are all things that you mentioned in the comments section. Riding the elevator. Taking the bus or calling Lyft because you don't fucking feel like walking. Also, stopping to have a little rest when walking. On these notes, having a disability that requires a mobility aid to get around. Saying, I'm hungry. Just keep that shit to yourself. Being the first of your friends to order food in a restaurant or something. Having standards when dating. I should just be grateful that he's even paying me any attention. Buying vintage clothes. Going on amusement park rides. No fun prep. Not allowed. Talking openly and publicly about wanting to be pregnant. Frankly, I feel like I could make 10 of these videos.
I cannot get there.
Take my hand. Will you take
Before I go,
in his hand?
the worse it gets, I'm not doing this on purpose.
I know.
Brother.
They do it shit like.
I feel like I'm an amniotic fluid. I feel like I'm breathing. My cheek is a pillow. Oh no.
All right, we've talked about the things you should do. Now let's talk about the things you should not do if you want to be an ally to your fat friends. Don't criticize yourself by calling yourself fat, and especially don't do this in front of actual fat people. It's incredibly painful for your fat friends to see you use their body type as your measurement of failure. Also, don't say you feel fat. Fat is not a feeling, physical or emotional. It's a body size. What people often mean when they say they feel fat is that they feel full or uncomfortable or they're having a hard body image day. Please just say what you really mean. Here's the controversial one. Don't post pictures of you posing yourself into a position that gives you like 2 rolls with a caption about how you understand fat phobia when we know you are thin. Unless you're denied access to health insurance, life insurance, medical care, jobs, travel, clothing, and more, our struggles are not the same.
Hi, I'm not asking you to follow me, but if you think you're following me, please double check because some of my followers have noticed that they aren't following me anymore and they don't know why. So if you think you're following me, please double check. And if you're not following me, I'm a fat girl who makes things. I sometimes tell stories about my life and every once in a while I go on a devastatingly funny and poignant rant about being fat. So do with that information what you will.
So, there are a lot of things in this world that thin people will never understand. So this is a series that I'm starting called Fat Shit Thin People Will Never Understand. And to start this series off, here's something that my older sister does that seems very fat phobic. Enjoy.
My sister's house. You see these goddamn chairs? I cannot fit in a single goddamn one of them. You see this bench? This is where I sit. It holds me. Some more of these goddamn chairs. Okay? Okay? You see that plastic thick long chair that's wide? Yeah. My mom and I brought those here because she refused to buy bigger chairs for us. Because we don't fucking fit in these chairs. And she thinks we can. I'm gonna give you a little sample. Alright? The chair. Alright? The chair. I'm gonna put a towel in it because it's hot as balls. The chair. Ow. Yeah, this hurts really bad. Like really, this hurts so bad. Yeah, my sister goes, see, you can sit in it. Can I sit in it comfortably? No. It's just the flat out refusal to buy wider chairs. Or, you know, maybe chairs without arms. Because you see this? This hurts. It's just some bullshit that she'll never understand because she's been thin her entire life. Oh! Ay, sheesh, guy. Ay, 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 ay.
I really get so sick of people not understanding why we do this. This isn't about creating a hierarchy of fatness. This is about discussing that there are complexities to oppression that people deal with, and that those of us on the bigger side of the spectrum deal with more oppression than those of you on the small end of the spectrum. There is a very palpable difference between how I was treated when I weighed 250 pounds and how I am now treated at 440 pounds, especially by doctors in the medical community. Stop eliminating our ways of explaining that we deal with more oppression in ways that smaller fat people don't. This isn't about hierarchies, it isn't about infighting, it's about pointing out the severity of oppression. Educate yourself.
A day in the life of a fat person with an eating disorder. Fat people, I hope you watch this video and know you're not alone. Thin people, I hope you watch this video and consider all the ways your day might have been different, and think about what that says about thin privilege. Today I went to lunch with my boyfriend, and then we went shopping at Target. First we went to Red Robin. When my boyfriend pulled up to the restaurant, he had to let me out before parking, because I often can't get out of the car when another car is parked next to us. We went and sat down at a table, and my belly was resting just at the edge. I had to ask the server to be moved, and then I saw that there were calories on the menu, which just made coping with my ED so much harder. I spent my time looking at the menu, replaying the 2 incidents of society communicating to me that I don't deserve to exist, over and over in my head. When we walked into Target, I noticed that the entire left wall and a bit of the middle of the store, about 20% of the entire store, was dedicated just to straight-sized clothes. I headed to the clearance, only to find that the section, which was bigger than my bedroom, had 0 plus-size options. After almost 10 minutes of searching, we found the tiny Ava and Viv shelf next to the fitting room, which was located in the back of the store and was small enough that it could have fit inside my bathroom. I spent 20 minutes finding clothes for myself, most of which were ugly, and the ones that were not carried in my size. I picked out 2 basic shirts, a sweater, and a pair of jeans. I went to the underwear section of the store and could not find my size at all. The tiny plus-size underwear section was conveniently located by the shapewear, communicating to me yet again that to be worthy, I should suck in my belly until I can't eat or breathe. I walked to the register to pay, again walking past the enormous straight-sized clothing section, and then went home. I was so exhausted, and I tried to relax by scrolling through TikTok, only to be confronted with videos by thin people body checking and reassuring themselves that they don't look like me, and labeling it body positivity. They justify this behavior with their eating disorders, which I also have, and which is severely impacted by their words and their actions. Trying on clothes and eating at a restaurant is difficult for anybody with an eating disorder, but it was made much more difficult by encountering messages over and over that my presence was not wanted, that in order to be deserving of existence, I should engage in disordered behaviors that are seen as a problem and an illness for thin people, but are a prescription for fat people. The phrase thin privilege does not mean that thin people don't have their struggles or that their insecurities are not valid. It means that universally difficult struggles for people with eating disorders are also a battle for fat people to even exist.